Title: Learning from Young Adult Role Models Who Are Deaf or Hard of Hearing, Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind Outreach Programs. Title: Jamison. Graphic: the CSDB logo is displayed on screen. A photo shows Jamison feeding a giraffe at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. Jamison is sitting in front of a large set of windows in a CSDB dorm.
I'm Jamison, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm hard of hearing. I became hard of hearing when I was about 3 years old. The doctor said that I was going to be completely deaf around 12 or 15. I'm not deaf, so that's awesome. I usually sign when I'm at school, but I speak when I'm in the public areas. It's easier for me. Sometimes people can't really understand me, but I can either write things down or try to talk louder, so, and tend to work. I'm currently out of high school. I graduated 2 years ago, and I'm in a Bridget to Life program. And basically they help me try to figure out what I want to do. They help me get into college or into work. And so far, they helped me get work at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. And that's a lot of fun because I get to work with the giraffes and the lions. But when I'm working, sometimes it would be kind of difficult to hear what my boss says and all that. But we always find a way to try to communicate the best that we can. And it always seems to work out. And I'm currently going to Pike Peak Community College for AVP, and that is an area vocational program. And that basically it's a high school program, but it's a free college class that I get to take. And I'm taking zoology. And it's a lot of fun.
Title: Growing Up.
When I was about 3, my family found out that I was hard of hearing. And they found out that I was hard of hearing because I kind of just stopped talking to everyone for about a year. And so my mom took me into the hearing doctor or whatever, and they told me that I was hard of hearing. They were upset, they were devastated that they didn't like the idea that I was hard of hearing. They thought that I was going to be picked on. They thought that I wasn't going to have a normal life. And so my mom started taking sign language class. I still talk to my dad and mom. I mean, I don't have to sign to them, and we all understand each other. My brothers and sisters, they learned how to communicate with me. Usually my family is pretty loud, so it's very easy to understand everyone. And today, well, like now, my whole family, my parents, we don't even know that I'm hard of hearing anymore. I can talk to them, they completely understand everything I'm saying. I understand everything they're saying. It's just a thing that we do now. It's a part of the family. I started using hearing aids right after they found out that I was hard of hearing, and I hated them. I never liked them. Specifically because a lot of kids would come up to me and ask me about what they were, or some kids would pick on me, and I didn't like that. And they did kind of look funny on me. I felt like I was different from everyone. But after a couple of years, I thought I could go without them. And so far I've been working. I was actually in a pretty small school, and they didn't have like a deaf program or anything. I was the only hard of hearing kid in the whole school. So they actually put me in a special ed class. And I felt like everyone thought I was not normal or anything. So I decided to move here to DHCB with everyone else that's, hard of hearing or deaf. So I felt like I was connected with everyone. One of the best choices I made coming to DHCB. When I first came here, it was 8th grade, and it was right after Christmas break. And I started living in the dorm, which is scary for me too, because I usually live at home. And it was just a whole big different change. But that's how I started to learn how to hang out with more friends. And Right when I came here, I actually made more friends. I only had one friend when I was at the other school. But that school taught me how to get a total life with everyone. That school taught me so much more because the classes were smaller and the teachers can actually interact with the student. I didn't know how to read very well when I first came here, and so the teachers were really into like teaching me how to read, and I just learned a whole lot when I was here. Basically a lot of basic life skills and how to sign and even how to hang out with the blind kids. Since I moved here, I got to make more friends. And so now I got like a deaf friend, a blind friend, and we all got the same sense of humor. We all we all talk about the same stuff. When I came here, it was really, really awkward at first. I didn't know that much signs. I knew a few of the basic signs, and everyone came up to me. They were asking me questions, and I had no idea about it. I didn't know what they were saying. I was honestly scared. I kind of wanted to go back to my regular school. But after about a month or so, I started learning signs, and I started making new friends. And I was really shy at first when I first came here, but now I kind of grew out of that, and I'm friends with everyone here, and we're all family here.
Title: Self-Advocacy.
Well, in my college class, when we started out, we had like 21 students. And sometimes we'll all talk at the same time, and that'll be kind of difficult because I have to figure out who's the one that's actually talking. And basically I'll just try to focus on one person, like mainly the teacher. But it's not that hard most of the time. But even at family dinners, like Thanksgiving dinners or Christmas dinners, we would have the whole family come, and we'll all be making jokes, we'll all be talking and everything. I usually just pay attention to the person that's the closest to me, because that's actually the one I can hear the most. But the one on the far end of the table and all that, I don't really pay attention. I just look around and act like I'm paying attention. And that seemed to be working for so many years. So when I first started in PPTT, I did have an interpreter. It was kind of a requirement at first. I only had the interpreter for like a month or two. But I actually didn't, it felt more awkward because I would look at the interpreter and felt like I'm not paying attention to the teachers and everything. And I always been, in every class I've ever been, I always paid attention to the teacher and not the interpreter. But the school would, they understood everything, so they knew that I didn't need an interpreter. And my second year of PPTT, and it's been working out. A lot of times, like when I go to a different classroom and meet new people, they'll be wondering why I talk a little bit different or why I'm a little bit louder than everyone else. And I'll just tell them I'm just hard of hearing. If they have any questions, I usually just tell them right away. But when I need an interpreter, which I usually don't, but I'll just usually find my advocate or go to people at the DHB and ask them and request an interpreter. But even at restaurants, I'll just ask them to repeat themselves. And sometimes people seem to be annoyed by that, but then once you tell them you're hard of hearing, they'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, whatever. Sometimes with the public school, there's a lot more kids, and the teacher will try to pay attention to everyone and not just on you, but sometimes you just have to go up to the teacher and just tell them what your problems are and how you can figure out your solution. And most of the time, teachers will do that. I had teachers that will make sure that I'm in the front of the class, ask questions, and then ask me if I understood it. Even in the college class, my teacher would be talking really fast and then look at me and be like, "You understand everything?" And yeah, if I don't have, sometimes it'd be kind of awkward if it's like a big crowd of people. But once everyone finds out that you're hard of hearing, everyone's okay with it. Everyone seems to be cool.
Title: Advice.
Well, I had a lot of teachers that would do a lot of research to find out how to teach deaf people, because regular teachers don't have the same degrees that the deaf teacher has. And well, I had teachers that would ask me like, what would be the best way to teach you? What would be the best way to communicate with you? What would be the best way to get you involved with class? Because a lot of times when I was a kid, I just didn't want to be a part of the class. I didn't like school. But every time a teacher did that, I would tell them, and we'll have meetings with my parents, or so my parents will help me, and that's what a lot of my teachers did. They just went all out. They try to teach me as much as they can, and a lot of the time, the students in the college class and whatnot, they'll even ask me, they're like, did you hear that? Did you understood that? And I'll be like, oh yeah, it's all good. And if I didn't, then I'll ask them. And I always try to tell myself to keep moving forward. Someday you can't enjoy every sunny day without a few rainy days. And sometimes it could be, someone could just be mean about you being hard of hearing, or you just be a mean person. But you just gotta remember that there's a whole lot of nice people out there. There's a whole lot of friendly people.
Title: Interests.
I joke about everything, really. There's like nothing I can't joke about. I have a blind friend, and people will know that he's blind because he has a cane, and people don't know that I'm hard of hearing or anything. And we'll go to PPTT and we'll be teasing each other. And a lot of people think I'll be mean, but we'll be joking and everything. I'll be messing with him, he'll be messing with me, and it's just a better way to interact with people. The more happier you are, the more people want to hang out with you. You just gotta make jokes about everything and don't take life too serious. Every day I usually always have my headphones in. Everyone knows me on campus. They always know that I would have my headphones with me. And I did love music and everything. That's one of the best things for me it's easier for me to go on with my day. Without music, I'm kind of bored. But I have a lot of people that ask me, they're like, well, you can't hear very well. What's the point of music? It's like, oh, I can still hear. It's just I can't hear the same thing you hear. But I would find the music that I like, and it just sounds awesome to me. Every day I try to do something fun or have fun with people. And when I go home, usually on the weekends, I'll play frisbee golf, or sometimes I'll go rock climbing, or even ride my mountain bike around. And you just gotta have fun with things. Like a couple weekends ago, I went paintballing with a whole bunch of friends, and I told them right away that I'm hard of hearing, so if they start yelling or anything, I'm not to quite understand what they're saying. So I'm gonna keep shooting until they throw their hands up. But yeah, it's always fun just to hang out with more people.
Title: Closing thoughts.
Parents should just treat their kid the same as a hearing kid. I mean, just love them and then show them how the same stuff and try to communicate as much as you can. And don't be afraid to come up to us and ask us. I mean, if we're already in a conversation, the polite thing to do is not keep looking at it, or because we kind of feel awkward when we notice everyone that looked at it. But it's okay for them to come up and ask us questions about if we're deaf or hard of hearing, or just even general science stuff and whatnot. And some people, it's easier for it to write things down, or even just getting your phone out and just texting back and forth. But you don't feel bad for it. A lot of us never heard anything, and so it's like we're not missing out on anything. We're always having fun. We just have the same life as you. We just can't hear.
Learning from young adult role models who are deaf or hard of hearing, a production of the Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind, 33 North Institute Street, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80903. Telephone 719-578-2100, www.csdb.org. Videography, Deb Branch and Sean Olivier. Captioning, Bonnie Otmar. Editing assistants, Diane Covington. Audio description, Jim Olson.